Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Erin Roan. The US President has spoken with the Israeli Prime Minister as the conflict in the Middle East intensifies. Israeli warplanes have been hammering the Gaza Strip, with the UN estimating the strikes have left more than 180,000 people homeless in the tiny territory. The death toll across the conflict has risen past 1,000. It's believed the US will help with hostage recovery. Meantime, there are grave fears for an Australian woman who may have been kidnapped by Hamas amid the escalating violence in Israel. Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles says at the moment it is too early to consider evacuation flights for stranded Aussies, though.
Tel Aviv airport remains open. There are international flights going from Tel Aviv. We will obviously continue to monitor this situation closely, and it is right that there have been some international airlines which have cancelled flights into Tel Aviv.
To other news, the Australian Electoral Commission says staff at early polling booths are reporting harassment from some campaigners and voters for the Voice referendum. Electoral Commissioner Tom Rogers says some people have been raising their voices at polling place staff.
I'd certainly call it harassment. We've had a couple of people who are turning up, effectively yelling outside the polling centres. We've had some fairly bizarre behaviour.
More than 3 million people have already cast their vote in the upcoming referendum. There's been a drop in complaints to the telecommunications watchdog over the past financial year. Half of all the complaints received were about mobile services, with complaints against Optus up almost 30%. Ombudsman Cynthia Gabert says overall there was a downward trend, though.
We received about 66,000 complaints about phone and internet, which is down about 17% compared to the previous year. So great result, but we know there's still plenty of work to be done.
And Vanessa Amarosi is taking her mother to court over unpaid earnings. The Aussie singer will give evidence at Victoria's Supreme Court tomorrow. She is suing her mother over 2 properties that were bought with royalties at the height of her career. Sport and entertainment is up next. At the Men's Cricket World Cup, England have smashed Bangladesh, taking a 137-run win, while Pakistan has beaten Sri Lanka by 6 wickets. The Aussie women will take on the West Indies in their second one-day in Melbourne this morning, and the organisers of the LA Olympics are keen to add a couple of new sports to the 2028 Games, including cricket, squash and lacrosse. Squash Australia CEO Robert Donohue says it would be a huge win if it gets the green light.
We've been one of the most successful squash nations in the world. We've been in the Commonwealth Games since 1998 and been the most successful nation in terms of medals won and gold medals.
The IOC will make a final call next week. In entertainment news, legal documents from Amber Heard's defamation trial have been released, revealing drama on the set of Aquaman 2. She claims Jason Momoa was dressing like her ex, Johnny Depp. That's the latest from the Nova Podcasts team. We'll see you later on for another episode of The Update.